to the front and we're going to worship.
But love came and picked me up out of the dust, gave me a new beginning. The old has gone, the new has come. When dark is light, the chains are now gone. Never looking back, your grace has won my heart. They're giving me a new start, taking on the old. Jesus, you're the hope that's burning in my soul. Forever we are free now, living in your love. You gave me a new start, created a new heart. You're never letting go. You're never letting go. You're never letting go. You're never letting go. Fire burning in my bones, Spirit's alive, it's giving a new direction. Now everything I have is yours. Take my life, make me a new creation. Old has gone, the new has come. The dark is light, the chains are now gone. Never looking back, your grace has won my heart. You're giving me a new start, taking on the old. Jesus, you're the hope that's burning in my soul. Forever we are free now, living in your love. You gave me a new start, created a new heart. You're never letting go. You're never letting go. You're never letting go. You're never letting go. Old has gone, the new has come. When dark is light, the chains are now gone. Never looking back, your grace has won my heart. The old has gone, the new has come. When dark is light, the chains are now gone. Never looking back, your grace has won my heart. You're giving me a new start, taking on the old. Jesus, you're the hope that's burning in my soul. Forever we are free now, living in your love. You gave me a new start, created a new heart. You're never letting go. You're never letting go. You're never letting go. You're never letting go. Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves was your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, and I don't deserve it. Still, you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. Sing it out. No wall you won't kick down, fire you won't tear down, coming after me. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, fire you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. And I couldn't earn it, and I don't deserve it. Still, you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God.
Alrighty, y'all. We got one more song for you guys. But first, how many of you guys were at the worship night that we had a few weeks ago? Good. It's a good amount of you guys. Okay, so we're singing a new song this week. It's called Dancing with a Promise. It is a Palm Valley original, and I just wanted to share a few lyrics with you guys that really touched me when I first heard this song. So one of the verses goes, "Oh, but Jesus isn't finished. His promise still remains. My God, he sealed his promise when he rolled that stone away." So this song is a celebration. We are dancing with a promise that Jesus has taken away all of our sins, all the things that we messed up with, and he's taken it away, and he's given us a new life. So go ahead and sing this out with me. There's going to be words on the screen. Follow along. Get hyped. Bring the energy. It's going to be such a good time. All right, put those hands up.
He is alive, he is risen, he has taken all our sin. We are healed, we are dancing with a promise on an empty grave. He is alive, he is risen, he has taken all our sin. We are healed, we are dancing
much for worshiping with us. Go ahead and take a seat.
I don't understand this microphone thing very well.
I was sitting down.
How you guys doing today? Medium energy. That's okay. That's okay. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jaicee. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Okay, cool. Well, we're up here. We're going to play a fun game, and we're going to get the energy up a little bit because everyone seems to be a little too tired. We're going to play a game called Pollsters. Now, it's going to work is I'm going to have one of you come join us up on stage, and I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to say, what percentage of people blank? And you're going to have to give me which percentage you think it is. And then everybody else is going to guess whether they're over or they're under the correct answer. So, I need someone who thinks they know everything. I'm just kidding. That was a bad example. All right, all the way in the back. Come on up here. All right, as he's coming up here, everyone stand up. Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. Make it less awkward as he stands up and walks up here.
Everybody.
Alrighty. This is your mic. I'm trusting you with the mic. All right, tell everybody your name and your favorite thing to eat at Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay, my name is Chad,
Come stand in the middle.
and my favorite thing to eat, probably the ham. I like ham.
Ham?
Ham.
Nice. Alrighty. Are you pretty confident that you know a lot about Thanksgiving?
No.
That's okay. That's okay. All right, let's do a quick practice round so that way we kind of understand how this game is going to work. What is our first question up on the board? That makes me laugh every time. What percentage of people prefer to be with their friends on Thanksgiving? Ooh. Friends on Thanksgiving. Which percentage of people say, I would prefer to be with my friends? What do you think?
You know, this might seem like a weird answer, but I'm
Okay.
gonna go with like 60.
He says 60% of people prefer to be with their friends. So if you think the actual answer is under 60, come over here. If you think it's over 60, come over here. Hey, stand in the middle. I think it's your microphone catching.
Okay.
Over 60 or under 60? Choices, make them. Go, run, fast. Everybody. Run. What are you guys?
Emily is straight in the middle. Emily agrees.
Emily thinks it's exactly 60, apparently. Scoot, if
Two?
you think it's... Come on, get off your phone. Alrighty. Everyone pretty solid on their guesses?
It's pretty even, actually.
Pretty even. All right, let's see. What's the correct answer? 25. So only 25% of people would say they would rather spend time with their friends on Thanksgiving.
I'm so sorry if I hit you.
Close your eyes if
Close
you
your eyes.
are afraid. Oh, Analia, that was so far. That also threw me off really hard because that's a bag of Starburst and you just pulled out Dum Dums.
Yeah, I'd
Well,
like
that
to
was-
keep everybody on their toes.
Let's keep everybody on their toes. All right, let's see what's next.
Wake up.
What's next? What percentage of people spend Thanksgiving at a restaurant? What do you think? It's a hard one.
20?
20?
20?
He says 20%. If you think it's less than 20 over there, more than 20 over here. Have you ever spent Thanksgiving at a restaurant?
No.
No? Never.
Nah.
Raise
See,
your hand
my
if you've
family
spent
loves to
Thanksgiving
cook.
at a
Oh,
restaurant.
your family loves to cook, huh?
They always cooking stuff.
Just Elliot.
They always
It's
be
always the
cooking.
most random things too.
Wait, did you ask how many people have spent Thanksgiving
yeah.
at a restaurant?
Just Ellie.
Just Ellie.
Literally just
Just
Ellie.
Ellie. That's funny. Alrighty. Let's see. Everyone thinks it's less. Let's see what the correct answer is. 4. Only 4% of people.
Close your eyes, cover your heads. Sorry.
Yeah, in every movie I've ever watched about Thanksgiving, they burn the turkey. And they go to a restaurant. So I guess it's all a lie. It's all a lie, guys. You hear that? All right, that's funny. All right, let's see. What's next? What percentage of people spend Thanksgiving at home? Now, this is not just the opposite, because people could spend Thanksgiving at someone else's house.
Or a park.
Or a park, apparently. According to Analia, people spend Thanksgiving at a park. Anyone go to a park for Thanksgiving before? That's what I thought. What do you think?
No, I think
No,
I think
it's
this is gonna
okay.
be most people.
all
Actually.
Think under.
What are you thinking?
Oh, wait.
Here's
Here, I'll give you a second to think. Who here spends Thanksgiving at their house?
Thanksgiving.
Like their own home? All right, you see that? See how like there's, pretty even. What are you thinking?
Who doesn't like
What are you thinking? Throw the percentage out.
Come on now.
What do you think?
I'm going to go with 55%.
He says 55%.
I don't know.
The answer is?
Wait, they haven't moved.
Oh, sorry. 61. That means everyone over here wins. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I apologize.
Close enough.
Close enough. That's okay. All right, next one. Sorry, guys. I just got too excited.
I'm so sorry, Becca.
What percentage of people eat turkey on Thanksgiving Day?
I think a lot.
Anyone here vegetarian? Good job. What do you think?
I'm going to go with a big guess.
A big guess. Okay.
I'm saying 87%.
87% of people eat turkey on Thanksgiving. So, if you think it's less than 87%, go over there. If you think it's more than 87, come over here.
Who eats turkey on Thanksgiving?
And if you think I'm going to fall off the stage because I keep going too close.
Just you?
I'm not even gonna lie. I completely forget about
who
Thanksgiving
eats turkey on
until
Thanksgiving?
because I'm so worried about Christmas.
That's a lot less people than I expected.
What'd you ask?
Who eats turkey on Thanksgiving?
Listen, Thanksgiving exists only to give me stuffing, and that's it. I love stuffing.
I love stuffing.
Oh, so good.
Stuffings are so mid.
So good. Thank
Stuffings
you.
are mid.
Stuffing's what?
They're mid.
It's mid? What does that mean?
It's like I
Oh,
don't.
is that slang? Are people
Mid?
saying, is that, whatever.
It's
Next. wait, no. He said 80-something%. Less than, over. Everyone good? Everyone moved? All right, let's see. I didn't get ahead of myself that time. Over or under 87% of people eat turkey on Thanksgiving Day. Wow. That was good.
Clutch.
It's raining starbursts. Don't get hurt. Ah. Apparently the target is Becca. All right, let's see what's next. What percentage of people would rather not have turkey on Thanksgiving? So this is kind of quite literally the opposite. What are you thinking?
Let's go with the opposite. 12%.
12% is the opposite.
No. Wait.
You never
Well,
know.
I mean, it says
No.
would rather. That doesn't. See, people can eat turkey without wanting to eat turkey.
There you go. Now you're
I'm gonna say
thinking.
20%.
He says 20% would rather not have turkey on Thanksgiving. Whoa.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I said
why
it right.
someone would eat turkey.
Do you think it's less than
if they don't
20?
eat turkey.
Or do you think it's more than 20 would not like turkey on Thanksgiving? I personally don't like
like
turkey.
It's okay.
That's why I choose
I
ham
like it
over
more
it.
than ham.
I would agree. I would prefer ham.
Oh, no, I didn't say that.
He said I would prefer ham.
Oh, I said I like turkey more than ham, and you were like, I agree, I prefer ham.
I prefer ham over turkey. I'm sorry. All right, let's see. What's the correct answer?
You know, mashed potatoes and gravy might be my favorite.
I hope you guys moved because I'm not giving you time anymore. Correct answer is 25. You're doing pretty
You're
good.
safe.
You're getting
You're
better
safe,
every
Becca.
time.
I'm nice.
Better and better every time. 20%. So it's over here.
Sorry, Becca. Becca, cover your head.
That's why they're not on the football
Oh, I almost got hit with that throw. All right, we're going to do
Nobody.
one more. One final one.
Oh, then
Let's-
I'll do them all.
Good, you're throwing them all. And the bag, everything. Let's see. What percentage of people prefer a deep-fried turkey than a traditional roasted
Is that a
turkey?
thing?
Yes.
Has anybody ever had a deep
Yes.
fried turkey
Whoever
at their
said
wedding?
that,
Or-
correct. Pastor Ben does. What did she just say? No one here is getting married. No one here is getting
At
married.
their Thanksgiving?
My
No
mom
one is getting married here.
decided
At,
she wanted to. It wasn't for
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, but she decided to make deep fried turkey to try it. But
Did
she
you like
also
it?
made normal turkey just in case she didn't like it.
At your wedding?
And I think she deep fried it a little too much because when I took a bite, there was so much oil.
Ooh. Has anyone here had deep fried turkey before? A few people? A few people? Was it good? Whoever just said yes, was it good? It was good? It was good? It was good. All right, what are you thinking? What percentage?
17.
17% of people
17%.
prefer deep fried turkey to traditional turkey.
All right.
What do you think? Under or over? Or are you just tired of moving? You think it's over 17%? All right.
Interesting.
All right, let's see. What's the percentage? What is it?
Oh.
Over.
Oh, okay.
About 50% of. Yeah, I'll hold it for you. I'll take it back for you. Oh wait, never mind. Don't impale people. Crazy person. All right. Close it down. Move back.
All right, guys, start making your way back to your seats. Start finding your seats. I have a bumper video for our new series, Leftovers, and then we're going to have an amazing message.
I made it. I made it on time. I did it. I'm a little out of breath, and Did anyone get hit in the head by Candy during that? I apologize. I'll yell at her this week. Just kidding. How you guys doing today? Good, good. All right, on a scale from 1 to 5, how was everybody's weeks? Honestly, 1 to 5. 3. 1 to 5? All right. Everyone had Thursday off, right? Yeah. So that like instantly boosts your week up by like 10% because you got a day off of school. Well, my name is Jaicee. I'm the students director here. I'm so glad you guys are here today. We are starting a brand new series, if you can tell by the really cool graphic behind me, and it's kind of themed on Thanksgiving, but I don't want any of you to be mistaken. Christmas started November 1st. It goes on until the day before, day of, day after, and that's Thanksgiving. And then it picks right back up and it goes up, like, honestly, until like a few days after Christmas, because you like the bleed over, you know. Anyone agree? Yeah. Anyone disagree? That's, no. If you disagree, come talk to me afterwards. I would love to hear your arguments. But personally, here's my two reasons, my two very valid reasons why Christmas starts on November 1st. First, Mistletoe by Justin Bieber needs to be sang all year round. But I prefer the more time than I can. Thank you for one person who agrees with me. Two, I need more time to watch Hallmark movies. Even though they're all the same, they all still make me cry. But I'm just a crier. We discovered that last week. I cry at everything. But I'm really excited about this series because we get to talk about a few things to do with leftovers. But before we jump in today, I want to make a quick statement. I'm going to leave it there, and then I'm going to come back to it. You guys ready? Ready? Okay. Youth, you guys, are not the future. Let's pray. God, thank you so much for today. I just pray that you speak through me. That you open our hearts to whatever it is you have to say to us today, that we can be encouraged and leave today better than we walked in. God, we're just so thankful for you. Amen. So about, maybe like 2.5 years ago, summer after I graduated high school, me and my family were going on a vacation to go out to Florida because it was my grandma's, I think, 60th birthday. It had a 0 at the end, that's all I remember. So we go out to Florida, and all my like aunts and my uncles on that side were coming out too. And for some reason, my parents decided we should drive to Florida. Yeah, my parents are weird and they prefer driving over flying, but I kind of like car rides if I'm not the one driving because you get to like sit in the back seat with your feet up, like watching TV, pretending like I'm in like the beginning of a Disney movie where I'm like moving across country, like right before senior year, and I'm like, oh, my life is so sad. So we're driving to Florida and we make it. Later than we were supposed to because my mom's car broke down, which is why you don't drive across the country, but it's fine. We made it. We get there. We surprise my grandma. We're spending this week out there, and it was a lot of fun. And I got to hang out with some of my cousins for like the first time because they live over there and I live over here. So I hung out with one of my cousins who was 7, my favorite person ever. Like, we bonded. I was like, we're homies this entire trip. We did everything together. And on like halfway through the trip, one of the days, someone was like, oh, like we should do something like really fun today. was like, okay, like what's fun? And someone goes, oh, I know. Let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. And I'm like, all right, I've never been, but I just know that it's Peter Piper pizza with a rat, and so I'm sure it'll be fun. So we go. We're all going in. Like my uncles are there, my aunt's there, my grandma's there, our family's there, and everyone's like walking in. And my grandma had my cousin. So they go and they pay, and the lady behind the counter is like, oh, let me like stamp your hand, because at Chuck E. Cheese, like you have to have your hand stamped if you're a kid to like check yourself out. I don't know. It's kind of what we do in PVC Kids, so I have to like show that you're mine. He's 7, so it makes sense. So they stamp her hand, whatever. My mom goes up. They're like, oh, like, do you guys have any kids with you today? Anyone younger? She's like, yeah, like I have my 2 daughters. One's 19, one's 17. And then the lady looks at me. She goes, okay, can I stamp your hand? And I'm like, you heard the teen after that 7, right? Like I'm 17 and you want to stamp my hand so my mom can check me out of Chuck E. Cheese? And she's like, yeah, sorry, company policy. You have to be 18 to remove yourself from Chuck E. Cheese. Why? Like someone tell me why 18. So also, just, this happened in June. I turned 18 in August. So I'm standing there, 17 and like 11 months, and I have to have my mother remove me from Chuck E. Cheese because I'm not old enough. Do you know, I look back and I'm like, I was a little over dramatic in that moment. But in that moment, I stood there and I went, if I cannot take myself out of Chuck E. Cheese, can I do anything in life? Like, I'm just gonna think about that. I am trusted with a license, but I can't remove myself from Chuck E. Cheese. And I promise you, I've never felt more worthless in my life. And it was the silliest thing ever, but it's that story that I kind of wanted to share to illustrate that feeling of just being not good enough. Like we have all those moments in like that are funny that we think about, that we walk away, we're like, wow, I'm really bad at that. I'm not good enough. But there's still those certain times in our lives that we walk away and we're like, yeah, I'm really not good enough. And those aren't the funny stories, right? Those aren't not being able to remove yourself from Chuck E. Cheese. I'm still not over that. Those are when people look at you and they say, yeah, maybe one day you'll be something. Maybe one day when you're older or when you have your life figured out, like then you'll be able to do something, right? Those hurt a little deeper. Those aren't a funny story you share up on stage to get people to laugh. Those are the ones that you think about when you're trying to do a new thing and that voice comes in your head and you remember someone going, oh, you know, you're too young. You're not smart enough. You're not cool enough. You got to prove it to me that you can do this. Those aren't the feelings that we like, right? But I want to kind of put a pin in that emotion, and I want to tell you guys a few stories. So I want to talk to you guys about this guy named Jesus, who lived like hundreds of years ago, and he started his ministry. He started his ministry, and he started to do this thing called like calling his disciples. So something back then that people would do, they would have disciples. And basically what it is like a follower. Someone who follows somebody is considered a disciple. And back then, to become a disciple was very, very difficult. Like there was a lot of things that went into becoming a disciple. Like you had to go through years of schooling and like intense schooling, like really intense schooling, like trigonometry or something like that, like crazy, like hard. Maybe it was just hard for me. Then they'd have to go out and they'd have to find a teacher that they wanted to be a disciple of. Then that teacher would go ahead and like intensely like grill them. Like they would test every single thing about this person. They wanted to know how smart they are. They wanted to know how much they knew. They wanted to know how strong they were. Every single thing they had to test. And then a very, very select few would be picked. And then the teacher would say, okay, now you can come and follow me. After this really long, hard process. So now that we know kind of what it takes to be a disciple, we're going to jump into where Jesus starts calling his disciples. It'll be on your notes, or if you have a Bible app, you can pull it up. I'm going to read it for you. I'm going to give you a few seconds to get there. Matthew 4:18. All right. It says, as Jesus was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw 2 brothers, Simon called Peter and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. So these 2 boys, just doing their normal job, fishing. Anyone here like fishing? Okay, a few of you. They're fishing, normal job, just a normal day Like, it's basically the equivalent of you guys waking up and going to school and sitting in your third period class like you do every single day. They're just fishing. Jesus is walking along the shore, and he stops, he looks at him, he says, "Come and follow me," Jesus said, "and I will send you out to fish for people." At once they left their nets and followed him. Hold on. They were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. "Come and follow me," Jesus said, "and I will send you out to fish for people." Hold on. I think I might have skipped over something. No, didn't skip over anything. So I just spent that entire time unpacking to you how difficult it was to be a disciple. And then Jesus just strolls up and says, "Psych, none of that matters." And he just says, "Come and follow me." Well, maybe that was just like special for them. Like maybe those two he already knew. Maybe that's just left out. Verse continues on. Going on from there, he saw two brothers, James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John. They were in a boat with their father Zebedee, preparing their nets. Jesus called them, and immediately they left their boats and their father and followed him. Immediately. Like the second Jesus saw them, he said, "Come and follow me." So that's completely against protocol, right? Like we just went through that process and realized how difficult it was to be a disciple. And then Jesus says, "Yeah, none of that matters. Like you can just come and follow me." And it's really interesting to sit there and watch that because it goes against what you would think. You see, Jesus is sitting there saying, you know what? It doesn't matter how much they know. Just come and follow me. It doesn't matter your background. Just come and follow me. It doesn't matter, period. Just come and follow me. And he continued to do that his entire ministry. And he collected these 12 disciples. And I think that there's a lot of us who go about life and big things and small things, and we feel like it does matter blank. I have to have this. I have to do this, and then I'll be something. Forgetting how Jesus said, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter your past. It doesn't matter your age. Can I tell you guys like a little secret? It's never directly mentioned, it's never said straight up. But people that have dug into context clues and are way smarter than I am believe that the disciples were anywhere from 19 to 15. The disciples were your age. Were teenagers. That statement, like I said earlier, youth are not the future. Some of you might have been like, that's not how that goes. I am the future. No. You're the now. Your life matters now. It doesn't matter when you graduate, when you have a college degree. It doesn't mean you're going to be something in the future. It means now. And some of you might be like, I don't believe you. Teenagers can't really do anything. So I went and I Googled this week, cool things that teenagers have done. Enter. And this is what Google told me. Now, granted, this was on Google, so if it's wrong, don't yell at me. Does anyone know what the Braille system is? So it was invented by someone named Louis Braille. Funny. At the age of 15. Anyone? A few of you? I'm going to mess up this name really bad, so bear with me. Suhas G. I'm just going to say G. I'm not going to get it. Became the world's youngest CEO at age 17. Anyone in here 17? Few of you. Alexander the Great. We all know who he is. Alexander the Great. Founded its first colony at age 16. Anyone in here 16? Okay. Mark Zuckerberg, we all know who that is. Founded what? Anyone know? Facebook. At age 19. Any of you in here 19? I don't think so. So get out. No, be here. I love you guys. I started ministry at age 18. And I know that's not Facebook. It's not as cool as Facebook, guys. But so many people probably looked at them. People probably looked at me and said, you're too young. But Jesus didn't. Jesus didn't look at those disciples and say, you're too young. You're not smart enough. You don't have it all together. You haven't gone through all this schooling. You're just a fisherman. No. Jesus looked at them and said, hey, I see something in you. I just want you to come and follow me. And I think that's something that I need to hear a lot because I forget that. And he sees more in you than people ever could. He sees more in you than people ever could. And that's not saying that people don't see things in you. I want you to know that. That's not saying that people don't believe in you. But that's saying when you go on in your life and you get told, you're not quite good enough. You're not quite smart enough. Maybe you're not old enough yet. To remember that somebody is not saying that. That there's somebody saying, I see something in you. That doesn't matter the qualifications that other people place on you. That I just said, come and follow me. And that's where it starts. Not when X, Y, and Z happen. When you say yes. That's when it begins. And so all these 12 disciples, they said yes. They started following Jesus. But it didn't stop there. Like, Jesus didn't just, call the disciples to, follow him and, have, a cool life. Imagine being a disciple and, walking next to Jesus. I think about that sometimes. That'd be so cool. They got to see everything he did. They were eyewitnesses to his teachings, all that kind of stuff. They were there when Jesus was crucified and when he raised again, which if you've never heard that story, it's the most amazing love story you'll ever hear. You should really read it. But as he rose back from the dead, he went to his disciples and he gave them something called the Great Commission, which is basically a goal. He gave them his goal for their lives. It's on your notes, and I want to read it with you guys. It's in Matthew 28. This is after Jesus died and after he was rose again. He comes to his 12 disciples, and it says, Jesus came and told his disciples, I have been given all authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I have given you, and be sure of this, I am with you always, even till the end of the age. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's the goal. Go and make disciples. And that's exactly what Jesus did, right? He came down, he did his ministry, so he collected his 12 guys, and he tells them, hey, go make disciples. So then those 12 disciples, they go and they find more people, and they tell them about Jesus, and then those people go and find more people, and more, and more, and more, until you're sitting here today. I was thinking about that this week, and I was writing this message, I was like, wait a minute. We're here today because those 12 disciples took that goal, and they ran with it. And it's something that I like to call, exponential growth, which is a really big, fancy math, science term. I don't really know. It basically just means that when you add something on, you're multiplying it. So example, I'm up here and I have my friend Sally. And then I'm pouring into Sally, I'm telling Sally all these different things. And then the next year I'm like, okay, Sally, you go, you find somebody else. I'm gonna go find somebody else. So now I'm pouring into this person over here. I'm gonna forget these names if I keep coming with them. And then Sally goes and talks to somebody else. And then we spend that time there. And then the next year I go, okay, now you'll find somebody else. I'm going to go find somebody else. You find somebody else, and you find somebody else. And it goes on and on and on from 2 to 4 to 8 to 16, 34, 32. No, 64, 128, I think. I don't know. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. But it grows and it grows and it grows, and eventually it becomes this crazy big number that you're like, how did we even get here? I don't understand. How did we go from 12 disciples to a third of the world believes in Jesus? That's crazy. But the thing about that is it just starts off with one. And when you start off with one person, you're like, I'm really not doing anything. And it can be really discouraging because all we see is what's right here. We don't get to see that bigger picture all the time. But that's exactly the model that's been followed from the beginning. And that's exactly what God calls us to do, right? He says, go and make disciples. It's not saying, hey, go find 300 people, tell them about me, and then go find another 300 people and tell them about me. It's saying, no, go and make disciples. And how many disciples did Jesus have? Anybody know? 12. He had 12 people, the amount of people we could pour into, and then they went and they found more people, and more people, and more people. Our goal is to make more disciples, right? And that plan is you. Is every single one of you today. Not in 10 years, not in 15 years, not when you get a high school diploma, not when you get a college degree, right here, right now. That you can step into school tomorrow, say, hey, this is my one friend that I know doesn't know Jesus, but I know their life would be so much better if they did know Jesus, so now I'm going to start pointing to them. And then hopefully one day they'll point to somebody else, and then I'm going to go point to somebody else too. And then it grows, and it grows, and it grows. And that's the plan that Jesus set in place all the way back then. And that's the plan that will be in place until the end. Because there is no plan B, right? Like there's no plan B to how to save the world. You're his plan because he believes in you. Like hearing somebody say, I believe in you, is like the most beautiful thing in the world. Like I look back into my life and there are certain people that I get to sit there and they get to say, hey, I believe in you, Jaicee. Like I'm doing this because I believe in you. And at first I cry because I'm a crier. Again, we addressed that last week. If you missed it, check us out on YouTube, PVC students, shameless self-promo. But those words, we don't get to hear that often. Like we often get told you're not good enough, but how often do we get to hear people say, I believe in you? That I believe in you. And if you're looking for someone to say that to you today, God already did. You don't have to look for X, Y, and Z, all these different people. God believes in you now. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from, what you're doing tomorrow. He believes in you. So much so that you're his plan to bring his gospel into the world. All you have to do is say yes. And today, maybe you've never started that relationship with God before, and you're like, no, I want to say yes. I want to forget that there's all these different things that society tells me I have to do. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to say yes. And then that's my start line, and I'm going to go. And I'm going to achieve this goal. Or maybe you've already said yes, but you've been so distracted with the words of people, or you've been distracted with trying to do these big things that we kind of overlook those little things of just that one person that we know. I'm going to take some time to pray right now, and maybe your step is saying yes for the first time. Or maybe in this moment, you're going to quietly think of somebody's name, someone in specific that you can go out to this week and pour into and show them God's love, because you never know what can happen from one person. Let's pray. God, thank you so much that you believe in us. I just want to sit on that for a second, God, because we don't get told that a lot. Often we hear that we're not good enough, that we're not quite there yet. But you say to us, I believe in you. God is saying that he believes in you, that he sees something in you. God, thank you for that. I just pray for those people right now that have never said yes before, but they desire to come and follow you. Right where they're at, they don't have to clean up their mess. They don't have to do anything else other than say yes. And that's where it begins, and that's where you get to use them to bring your glory, God. I pray for those people in the room right now that they're thinking of that person, that their name is sticking in their head, that they get to go after that they find that person and they get to pour into them and build this relationship, because that's what you've called us to do, is to go out and find people and love on them and show them your gospel. I just pray that we get to remember that all week in all of our lives, God, that we don't need to search for the approval of others. We don't need to meet all these expectations, that you just already love us. Amen. Well, thank you guys for coming today. I hope you guys all had an amazing service. I have a few announcements before we start rushing off. There's baptisms coming up next weekend, and it is going to be an amazing time.